Our day began in Las Vegas, Nevada, where we checked out of the hotel, called an Uber to the airport, and picked up a rental car. We headed east toward the south rim of the Grand Canyon. 30 miles out of Vegas is the Black Canyon and the Hoover Dam. I knew we were getting close due to the converging electrical distribution lines coming in all directions. We were all heading in the same direction. Native Americans have been living in this area for centuries, but it wasn't until the 1850s that trappers, gold miners, and explorers from the east came to the Colorado River. Many river explorers hoped the river could be used for travel and to move goods. However, they quickly discovered that the river wouldn't work for what they needed because the amount of water that flowed through the Colorado River was very different from season to season and year to year. During the springtime, the water level was very high, as in the case when snow was melting in the Rockies, where it would flood valleys along the river. But other times during the summer months, the river would be reduced to trickles of water. In the early 1900s, they decided to tame the river. Starting in 1931, construction began on the dam. The Colorado River is 1,450 miles long and the fifth longest in America, beginning with small creeks and rivers in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado and dumping into the Gulf of California in northwestern Mexico. There are many dams along the Colorado River, but not all of them produce electricity. In fact, the main reason the Hoover Dam was built and is operating today is not for its electrical generation. The Hoover Dam and the 50 other dams help control the Colorado River. That is, they control floods, irrigate crops, supply drinking water, makes places for recreation, create habitat for wildlife, and generate electricity. Lake Mead, located behind the wall of the Hoover Dam, is the most important part of the dam. It is the biggest man-made lake in the United States and provides drinking water to the cities of Los Angeles, San Diego, and Phoenix. Las Vegas gets most of all of its water from Lake Mead. While the electricity from the Hoover Dam generation is important, living out here in the desert would be impossible without taming the Colorado River. Today, the Hoover Dam stands 726 feet tall, which is almost 200 feet taller than the Washington Monument in Washington, D.C. And it is really thick too. The base measures 660 feet wide, which is about the same size as 2 football fields measured from end to end. 4.5 million cubic yards of concrete were used to build the dam, and this much concrete could pave a standard highway from San Francisco to New York City. This enormous project attracted people from all over the U.S. who traveled to Nevada to help build the dam. The Hoover Dam was built during the Great Depression and was completed in only 5 years, starting in 1931 and being completed in 1936. A total of 21,000 people were involved in planning and construction of the dam, and an average of 3,500 men worked on the dam daily. Most of the workers also brought their families with them, and they all had to live without clean drinking water, toilets, and shelter during the extreme weather. The Hoover Dam is considered one of the top engineering marvels in the world. How does a hydroelectric dam work? Once constructed, river water is held back, forming a lake, as in the case of Lake Mead on the Colorado River. Runoff from the melting snow is stored in the lake until a time when there is little river flow, as in the case during the summer months. At that time, lake water is allowed to flow out in a controlled manner. This does several things. It prevents flooding of downstream valleys and farmland. It provides a constant supply of water for millions of people, and it generates electricity as it flows through the dam. The water that flows through the dam does not flow over the wall or under the wall. It goes around the wall in large ducts or pipes called penstocks. The water flows through the turbines, which turn the generators, thus producing electricity. When water flows from a higher elevation in the lake to a lower elevation through these penstocks, the force of that water generates electricity. Hoover Dam has 2 rows of generators, one on each side of the river. There are 4 intake towers on the lake side of the dam that let water into the penstocks. Penstocks like I said, are giant pipes that the water flows through. The ones on Hoover Dam are 30 feet wide and carry enough water to fill a 900 bathtubs in only 1 second. The water then flows through the turbines. The turbine is a giant wheel with fins on it. The force of the water makes the wheel spin and turns the generator. There are a total of 17 generators in the dam, 9 on Arizona side and 8 on the Nevada side. Generators are working. If all the generators are working on full capacity, the Hoover power plant is able to produce 2,080 megawatts of power. That is enough electricity to power a city of 750,000 people. To put this in perspective, the hydroelectric dam upstream of Roanoke Rapids can produce 100 megawatts of power. The Hoover Dam can produce 20 times the amount of power as that dam. The electricity produced by the generators at the dam flows through transformers on its way to the cities. Making electricity at the dam does not release air pollution into the air, nor does it produce any chemical runoff or wasted water. However, since the dam can only be built on a river, electricity that is produced must be carried a long way to the cities where it can be used.